What's up, my hippies? It's me, Emily, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about my 5 days using Isle cloth pads.
I said I'm happy, and you got to understand that you got it made, and you should be happy as fuck.
Alrighty guys, the period came, the period went. I was able to try these Isle cloth pads for an entire menstrual cycle. I was so excited to actually give them a try. I did kind of test them when I was using the Nix-It cup, but no blood ever really ended up getting on them, so it wasn't really a fair trial. So I wanted to do an entire cycle of just wearing the Isle cloth pads. So the footage that you guys are going to see is going to be just that. Hello everybody. I was not expecting to be making this video right now. I guess Mother Nature decided to bless me with my menstrual cycle today because I just got home from work and I went to the bathroom and Aunt Flo has been welcomed into my life. So that means we get to try another menstrual product. During this cycle, I am choosing to try out my cloth pads. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom and put on one of my cloth pads. They are from the brand Isle, and I did put out a video unboxing them, so now I actually get to try them out, and I'm pretty excited about it. This whole menstrual cycle, I'm going to try to just use the cloth pads. As much as I loved the Nix-It cup, it's cloth pad time, guys. So this will put them to the true test, and I hope that I can make it the entire 5 days of my period with just the Isle cloth pads. Fingers crossed. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them on, and I'll kind of talk about how I feel when I wear them. Okay, so unlike the Nix-It cup, the cloth pads are super easy to put on. You just snap them together on your underwear, and they're ready to go. So there's not really any kind of trial and error that I have to master with these. I'm kind of sad because I really was enjoying the Nix-It menstrual cup, and it's just so weird to go from that to now going back to pads. But I'm anxious to see like how these hold up and if I have any leaks. It's scary because I don't have any kind of backup protection with these. It's just the pads, and I have to solely rely on the pads. So as of right now, I have one on. They're pretty comfortable. It doesn't feel too abnormal compared to my normal underwear. Like, I can definitely tell that there's an extra layer, but it's definitely more comfortable than wearing a pad so far. I'm gonna assume that there's not going to be many updates in this video, but I at least want to talk to you guys about them at least once a day if possible, and kind of let you know how I'm feeling about them. I also got a soap from Isle, and it helps you wash out your period panties and your cloth pads. So in this video, I will be showing me washing blood out of my pads so that we can see how well it does. So if that is disturbing to you, feel free to skip this video and watch my next one. Now, I'm not going to be showing you guys every single time I wash out my pads, but I want to at least show you guys at least one time so we can experience that together and see how well that soap works and how easy it is to wash these out, because that's kind of what I'm curious about. I don't think that this really counts as day one because it's like almost like 12 o'clock at night right now, so I'm not gonna count this as day one. This is just like the prelude, I guess. We're gonna count tomorrow as day one, and what will probably end up happening is I will bleed for only 4 more days after today, is what I'm guessing based off my body. It's really rare that I start my period this late in the day. So anyways, that's that. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So today is technically day 1 of my period. It's going to be one full day of me wearing the cloth pads. Hi, Indy. Last night I didn't bleed at all after when I initially started my period. So my pad was dry last night. When I woke up this morning and I went to the bathroom, my period has started. She is in full effect, my friends. So now it's time to test these pads out. I'm having a lot of cramping. So that's what I'm dealing with today on day 1 of my period, is some lovely, lovely, lovely period cramps. Some pretty bad ones at that. But since I'm not wearing a menstrual cup or disc, in my mind, it is a little bit more comforting for me to wear a pad right now. So that's good. So this is kind of me on day 1. I will be updating you guys as need be if anything changes, how long I was able to go with this pad on, and all of that. Here we go. Oh, there are sirens going off outside. Hello. I have been wearing the cloth pad for, let's see, for about 8 hours. And so far everything's going pretty well. There hasn't been like a need for me to like really change it. I'm having like a super light day, I guess. So there's not really much that I can report on there. I am going to take a bath and everything and change it into a new one before I get ready for bed. And we'll see how that one goes. But as of right now, it's going pretty well. I mean, like, I have noticed that I'm wearing a cloth pad, so it's not like it's invisible to me. And I did go out and about. I went to the store, I went out to eat with my mom, and I haven't had any kind of leaks or anything like that. Nothing uncomfortable. But yeah, it is noticeable. Sorry, my focus on my camera is not working. So yeah, it's been nice. Nothing bad so far. No leaks, none of that. So I'm pretty excited. I'm curious to see how it holds up overnight. I know with the Nixit cup, I had 0 leaks. 0 leaks, guys. I had no leaks with the Nixit cup, which was awesome. So I'd like to keep that trend going with these cloth pads and with every other product that I use. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I am going to get ready for bed in a few hours. As of right now, no updates, no issues, pretty neutral right now. Okay? Alright. Alrighty guys, it's time to wash out my cloth pad. I also bought this soap from Aisle, and it's meant to wash out period blood from your panties and your cloth pads. So that's what I'm going to be doing. The pad is not as saturated, or at least it doesn't look that saturated to me. Since the pads are not sticky and they don't stick to your panties, they slide a little bit easier around. So I did have some slippage and there is a slight leak on my panties. So I don't think these are Victoria's Secret underwear approved yet by me. Whereas the Nixit cup was. But, you know, I'm just trying these out to see if I can eventually intermingle all of these products together. I would like to wear a combination of cloth pads and the menstrual cups, depending on how I feel for the day. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. I can't really tell how much blood it absorbed, but I'm gonna go ahead and wash this out with the soap, and then, you know, I'll take you along on that process. Alrighty, so I've washed them out. It took me about 5 minutes or so, not very long. It was quite easy. So I'm gonna hang this guy up to dry, and he'll be ready probably tomorrow or the next day. So I have 3 of these size pads, and then I have 2 big pads. So I'm not gonna use the big pads unless I'm maybe going to work. I might use them when I go to work, just so that I know I'm covered. And then I'm gonna bring one of these little guys as a backup to work. So we're gonna see how that works out. I'm crossing my fingers that I don't have any leakage. Well, that's where we're at. So that was the end of day 1. I will see you guys for day 2. Good morning, my friends. It is the morning of day 2 with cloth pads, and I'm happy to report that there was no leakage. That's exciting. I'm so happy that there was no leakage. It's almost like leaking. Like the blood has drifted off to the side into the wing area. So I must have been like sleeping at an angle to where it was like leaning to one side. But I'm really happy that there was no leaks when I was sleeping. So that's awesome. I'm so excited. As far as like comfortability goes, it's still pretty comfortable. You can feel like when it's really, really wet, I'm actually like doing okay with it right now. I think for work today, I'm gonna wear one of the super pads because I do work a pretty long day. And I think that that's my best option as far as protection. And then I'm going to bring another maxi pad with me just in case I need to change the other one. But ideally I'd like to be able to get through, you know, 8 hours if I could without having to change it. My flow is pretty heavy today. It started getting heavier last night. We're dealing with that right now. But yeah, that's all I really have to update on. Nothing really too exciting going on right now. So I will either update you guys if there's any crazy leaks or any stories I have to tell you about these pads today. Well, I will see you guys when I get off of work later tonight. Bye. Okay, so I've successfully completed day number 2 of cloth pads. I chose to do one of the super pads for my second day because I did have to go to work and I had to work pretty much all day. I mean, it held everything. There was 0 leaks today with my cloth pads. It's really full, so had I not gotten home and changed it, it would be at risk of maybe leaking, but so far no leaks. So I do have a fresh pad on right now. I am gonna go ahead and clean the one that I wore today and I will update you guys on how well it cleaned out. So I'm gonna go check that right now, but I'm pretty excited. Like, I'm pretty satisfied with the cloth pads. They were super comfortable to wear all day. I didn't have a lot of problems with slippage with the big ones like I did with the maxi pads, so that was nice. I think that as big as they are, they stayed in place really, really well. And honestly, I didn't really feel like I was wearing a pad all day. Yeah, so it's been interesting. Like, you can definitely tell that it's not just your underwear, but to me, it wasn't really that noticeable. So I've been pleasantly surprised so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash out the pad and I will update you guys on if there's any issues. And I'll show you kind of what it looks like. Okay. I also have my pad from this morning or from last night that I did not wash out. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash this out as well. This has been sitting here since this morning, so it's probably dried, but I didn't wash it out on purpose because I wanted to test out how well they washed out when they're dried. Just so, like, if you change your pad in public and you have it like sitting in a baggie or something. So I'm gonna wash this one out. And I'm also gonna wash this ginormous guy out as well. This one has a lot of blood on it, all in the front region. And yeah, you can see it right there. There's a lot of blood in this guy. But no leakage on the outside, and no leakage on the sides. No leakage on that side. So it held up really, really well. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash these out and I will update you guys on how well that goes. Okay, so I have washed out my pads and they are just drying on this little rack. I'm using my towel rack as a pad drying station. No stains. So I was able to wash out all of the stains. If you can see, it's just wet because of the water. But there's absolutely no like stainage or blood or anything left on the pads, which is awesome. I would say on average the super pad would last on a moderately to heavy day probably about 8 hours. And then on a moderate to heavy day, the maxi pad would probably last about 4 hours. So I haven't really had any issues or like have been struggling to like change them. You don't have to change them as frequently as you do with normal pads and tampons. So I've been loving that. I really don't have any complaints at all right now. The first day I did have a small leak, but that's the only leak that I've had, and I've been extremely, extremely surprised with these and very excited to incorporate them into my menstrual cycles. So that's it for day 2. Unless anything crazy happens tonight, unless I have any leakage or anything like that, you guys will see me tomorrow for day 3. Sorry, my cat decides to make his presence known, but I had no leaks last night on day number 3. Pretty exciting. I'm about to get ready and go to work. I've had 0 leaks so far, which is exciting. There is a hair on my lens. So yeah, there's not really much to update on. The process has been going pretty well so far. So I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna go to work and I will update you guys when I get home. Okay guys, so I have completed day number 3. I worked a really long day today. There's a lot to do at my job. I ended up working a really long time. I think about maybe 10 to 12 hours. I don't exactly know. So I've been at work all day and all I had on was the super pad and it has done wonders today. Like I honestly didn't really feel like I was on my period at all, except for, you know, cramping and being tired and all of like the PMS symptoms that I get. But as far as like the comfortability of these pads, they are so comfortable. I've been so impressed with how comfortable they've been. It feels like you're not wearing anything at all. And so far, I'm really happy with the purchase. They haven't really been a hassle to deal with. They've been actually easier to deal with than disposable pads because you don't have to change them as often, or at least like in my situation, I don't have to change them nearly as often as I would a regular pad. I have not had issues with these big ones sliding back and forth. I can wear these supersized pads at work and work a full day, and now I know that I don't really have to worry about leakage. I've had 0 leaks with these pads, but with these ones it's like I almost just don't even know that they're there, so I kind of forget that I even have a pad on. They've also been like super easy to wash out. Like you literally just take them off and wash them with soap and cold water, and then they're good to go. After my cycle's over, I plan on laundering them with my laundry and getting them ready for the next time I have my period. But these pads, like, they're just a no-brainer. Like, you don't have to learn how to do it. You just do it and it's there and it's comfy. So I'm loving them so far. I'm really happy with my purchase and it's been a great experience so far. Okay, well, tomorrow's day 4. I think that usually by day 4 I start to get a little bit lighter. So I will update you guys tomorrow. And I don't know if there'll be anything to report on day 5. I usually, like, my period usually dissipates on day 5. So I will continue to update as long as I'm bleeding enough to like have an issue if there's any issues, but I don't foresee any issues happening. And I've just been really excited so far about these products that I'm trying, and I'm so happy that I'm going for it and I'm trying them. So that's all. I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 4. Goodbye. Good morning, everybody. It is the morning of day 4, and so far I have not had a lot of bleeding going on. There has been no leaks still as of today. 0 leaks except for that one day, but nothing like major. So no leaks overnight, no leaks on like my pants or anything embarrassing like that. And today it looks like a very light day. I probably will just go ahead and wear one of the cloth maxi pads instead of wearing a super pad, because I really don't feel like I need to wear a super size pad today. So I think the maxis will work just fine. I'm not sure how tomorrow is gonna look. I'm assuming that today is going to be the last day of like active bleeding. Usually on my 5th day I really don't have a lot of blood. I still use menstrual products, so I will still be using the cloth pad, but I most likely am not going to update tomorrow unless something crazy happens. So I think we're good. I think we're in the clear. I've been really enjoying this experience and it's been quite awesome. It hasn't really felt like I've been on my period. So yeah, I don't know. I've just felt really good this period, and I'm really loving the aisle cloth pads. Unless something else happens that you guys need to be aware of, just know that I'm loving the cloth pads and I will finish up my 5th day with them. Okay guys, so as you saw, I was able to use the aisle cloth pads throughout my entire menstrual cycle. I did not film on day 5 because, as I mentioned, I don't really bleed a whole lot on day 5. And since I did have some pre-bleeding like the night before my period like full on started, there was like virtually nothing to really report on. On day 5, all in all, I was super happy with the aisle cloth pads. I think they worked really, really well for my lifestyle. I didn't really have a lot of problems with them. The only problem I had was one time the pad slipped and I did get some bleeding on my panties, but it wasn't anything to really be complaining about. It was actually quite minimal. They were super comfortable. I am typically one who uses like natural all organic pads, which are already pretty comfortable, but these were even more comfortable than that, and I didn't really feel like I was on my period the entire 5 days. There was really no stench or smell. You know, you get like that period smell. Didn't really have a lot of that. And the process of washing these things out was so easy. It just took about 5 minutes out of your day to just rinse them out and wash them with soap, and you were good to go. Hang them up to dry, they're good for the next day. I did go ahead and take all of them and actually put them through a laundering cycle after my period was over. So this is one that has survived the laundry, and it looks pretty much just the same as it did when I had them. Like, I bled in this, guys. You can't even tell. Like, you cannot see any kind of blood or remnants. It's amazing. I'm pretty impressed with them. I'm super excited to add them to my cycles and to use them with my menstrual cups. I think like when I will use these the most will be when I'm having really heavy cramps and I don't feel like putting in my menstrual cup. And also as a backup method to my menstrual cup. I think it's a really great idea. And maybe even like at nighttime when I'm sleeping, if I'm not really wanting to sleep with a menstrual cup in. That's when I would wear these the most, and I'm really excited to have them and to use them. So I'm gonna give them like an A+ for being such a great company, such a great product, and they held up in the washing machine, which is what I was really nervous about. Alrighty, well, I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was helpful for somebody out there, and I do hope you guys give aisle cloth pads a try, or at least just try cloth pads in general. It's really good for the environment to get away from disposable menstrual products. If you guys have tried aisle cloth pads or want to recommend any other period products for me to try, go ahead and just comment down below. I love reading people's comments and connecting with you guys. Feel free to leave those comments down below. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button down there and let me know so I can keep making more content like this, and subscribing to my channel. I put out new videos every Friday. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic weekend, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!